Back at you with another one, baby. It's the Mezco 5 points XL Godzilla versus Hedorah, baby. Or Hedorah, however you want to say it. I don't say Hedorah, I say Hedorah. I don't say Hedorah, I say Hedorah. And that's how I've been saying it my whole life. So that's what it is. Godzilla versus Hedorah, baby. It's a really cool box. Love the way they did this box, man. Look how creepy that looks. The only thing I'm a little confused about is what is Heisei Godzilla doing on here? You know what I mean? That's kind of strange to me. This should be the 1971 Godzilla. There he is. There he is. Oh, shoot. Look, there's a nice picture of the figure right there. And then on the back, it's going to show you everything that comes with the set, maybe. Hedorah final form, 2 poison orbs, 1 eye beam effects, which attaches to his right eye and eyelid, which is like it's like a patch, a battle damage patch. Then you have Hedorah's flying form, and 4 replica buildings here with smokestacks, it looks like. And, of course, Godzilla's figure. Mezco, Godzilla, 5 points XL. On the other side, we have Hedorah. Godzilla versus Hedorah on the top. Just a continuation of the picture from the front on the bottom. Really cool, you know. Kind of a mystery why they have Heisei Godzilla over there. That's the only weird thing that throws me for a loop with this. You know what I mean? Kind of strange, but that just looks awesome anyway. So let's get it open and start talking about it. Now, of course, it's going to come in your standard clamshell here with everything that comes inside of it. Goji, Hedorah, flying form, and everything else. So just to show you how it's packaged. Let's get them out of there. All right, so this is the whole set and everything it comes with. You're going to get these 4 nice buildings here. 3 of them have smoke coming out of them. You have Hedorah's flying form here and the stand that it comes on. You have Hedorah's standing form with the beam that you could put in his eye, and the battle damage patch that goes over the other eye. And then you have the Goji himself, Godzilla, with battle damage on his eye from Hedorah's sludge, basically. And you have the 2 Hedorah eggs right here. Hedorah. Doesn't matter, man. Hedorah sounds better to me. And, of course, you have the 2 stands that they stand on. They do stand on their own. So you don't exactly need the stands. But I guess if you're going to just, you know, it looks kind of cool to have all 3 of them on a stand. They do have 5 points of articulation, as the box says. But, you know, they don't really feel like articulated figures in hand. They're not heavily articulated. They don't move that much. You know, this is more of a pose it and put it on your shelf type of thing. But, you know, I'll go into their articulation, but it's not a heavy amount. And when you feel it, when you feel the figure in your hand, it feels more like a statue than it does an articulated figure. But this is cool. You know, I've been seeing these Mezco sets, and they look very nice. I've been wanting to start off with one of them. I purchased this off of Facebook Marketplace. I saw it for a good price, so this is the first Mezco set. And hopefully the first of many. I'll be getting them. I'm not in a hurry to get these because I'd rather get articulated figures like SH Monster Arts and higher. But this is quite impressive nonetheless. You know, the era of 70s Godzilla films was kind of weird, coming off of Destroy All Monsters, which was originally intended to be the last film of the series. Imagine that, you know. So when Tomoyuki Tanaka went and got Toshimitsu Banno to make this movie, he wanted he wanted it to be for children, but he also wanted it to have a theme similar to like the original Godzilla, where there was like a nuclear threat facing society, and if he could try to use something from the 70s, from the modern day at that time, and come up with a plan, and what it was is like from the 50s to almost the 70s, I guess the 70s, there was a lot of diseases in Japan caused by pollution. And it was a major problem there for 2 decades. And then I think in 1970, perhaps, or 71, they passed laws as far as the pollution was concerned, which helped them move into a new era. So, he used the pollution, Toshimitsu Banno did, as the modern day threat, and it was it was all perfect timing as far as the movie was concerned. So that's how we get the sludge, garbage, pollution monster Hedorah. And I think it's a pretty cool concept. You would have to say okay, the first Godzilla movie, Godzilla versus Hedorah, Shin Godzilla, Godzilla -1 were the movies where they did that. And I don't know if, they really conveyed it as well here. The movie is crazy. It's just a straight acid trip. Ultimately, Tomoyuki Tanaka did not like the movie. He thought Banno basically ruined the franchise with this movie. You know what I mean? And then that's when they made Godzilla versus Gigan. But I happen to like this movie better anyway. And, even though it does have a child as the main protagonist, like some of the Showa Kids movies, earlier Showa Kids movies, there was some gruesome parts in it. You know what I mean? Like people being gassed to death, people basically, the sludge stripping them down to the bone and stuff like that. So as far as that concerned, it really drove home that message of pollution. And a lot of it was based on real events of the diseases and people dying from pollution in Japan at the time. So, that makes it even more real. But the movie is just wild. It's very psychedelic. It's very 1970s, coming out of the 60s. There's a bunch of psychedelic scenes in the movie. They break and go into cartoon shots in the movie, almost like Pink Floyd, The Wall. You know what I mean? It's just a very, very different Godzilla movie than some of the others. But it's just it's a wild watch. It is entertaining. Even some of the fight scenes are weird. Where Godzilla and Hedorah are just basically staring at each other for long periods of time, and but there are some entertaining fight scenes in the movie, that's for sure. So it's it works in that way, and of course, it's cool how Hedorah basically has all different kinds of forms in the movie. They even borrowed a little bit from the Blob, obviously, when they're dancing in a nightclub and there's all the psychedelics going on, and then the sludge starts coming down the stairs, similar to the movie theater in the Blob, So it's just it's stuff like that. Like I think that's what they if you could turn the Blob into a Godzilla movie, like that's Godzilla versus Hedorah. you know. Um, so and I quite enjoyed it. It's just a different. I don't know if it's in my top 10 or not. Probably not. But over here in the U.S., it was called Godzilla versus the Smog Monster when I was a kid. Yeah, so that's how I originally knew it, and the movie had like a darker tone to it to me as a kid. Hedorah was kind of creepy and scary to me as a kid, and it drew me in the same way the opening scene of the 56 with Raymond Burr did. When you see that destruction, or when you see the garbage and all of that slush and stuff bubbling up in the water, it kind of conveys those same feelings that the destruction in Japan did at the beginning of the 56. So, I think Tomoyuki Tanaka was wrong. He definitely didn't ruin the franchise. It was a stylized approach to the movie, and it was dealing with the real issue that Japan was experiencing for years at the time. So, and the special effects, like as far as Hedorah was concerned, were pretty good for the time. How they were able to show him in all of those different forms. And of course the movie had the famous scene with Godzilla flying. So we can't forget that, like that's something that's just sticks with us forever. So, and since we're talking about flying, this is why you get SH Monster Arts figures. If you're a Godzilla fan, everybody knows that scene. So, yeah, this is basically the whole set here, and just to show you guys everything it comes with, and now I'm just going to break it down one by one. Okay, so Hedorah's flying form in the movie is definitely wild. It happens to be very nicely done. The eyes look great. The paint job on it is very, very nice and detailed. It's airbrushed, it's dry brushed beautifully. You could see very, very nice details going all around it. It's so cool that that they gave Hedorah a flying form, and it just looks so weird, Yeah, he almost looks like a jellyfish or something like that. I don't know. It's just very, very strange. But it's good. And then they have some really nice detail underneath. Of course, like when he flew like this, he would emit like noxious gases and kill people flying by. They would shoot out of him. It looked like he was propelled by gas, So, yeah, it's just really cool. Again, they give you a nice stand for it, to make it look like he's flying, which is cool. It's fairly cheap stand, so you want to be careful with it. Be careful trying to get him in there. You're going to have to twist him in there a little bit until you can get it to stay properly. But that looks very nice, The eyes especially are a highlight on this. The eyes and just the general paint job and some of the nooks and crannies of the details are really good on this flying Hedorah. So that's pretty dope. Yeah, and you could basically just recreate that scene where he comes flying past Godzilla and they battle, Yeah, I think, you could, that's rather nice, Reminds you of the movie, of the scene when he just flies right past him. Okay, and then of course we have Hedorah's standing form here. And it's nice that you could kind of pose this with the smokestacks, the way he was feeding off the smoke and feeding off the noxious gases in the movie. You could kind of pose it like that, where he's just sucking it in. This is a really nice figure. You know, not gonna lie, the articulation on these figures is stiff. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not terrible either. And the figure is very well done. Of course, this is without the little eye damage patch and the beam, which both of those fit into the top part of his eyes. That's how you get them in there. But the look of this, the paint job is excellent. Look at that. Look at his back, especially. The colors, the different colors and the detail on it. That's a very nice stylized paint job for Hedorah. I quite like it. Yeah, this is a good looking Hedorah figure, I have to say. You know, it's very, very sharp. The eyes are once again a highlight, you know, just as they were on the flying version. And it's just a well done figure as far as attention to detail and a beautiful paint job. It looks impressive. It was painted definitely with care. Yeah, I like that very much. And that looks, having the buildings to go with these figures is kind of nice. You know what I mean? They give a nice nod to the picture, because they were around a lot of these smoke-filled buildings. You know, you saw them throughout the whole picture. So, this is really, really cool. Now, the articulation here, the head can move, the arms can move, the tail can move from side to side, and the legs move slightly. They just move in and out a tad. And that's your 5 points of articulation. But you know, it looks good. You could get them into a couple nice poses like that. You know, it really doesn't matter how, you know, which way you turn his feet. You know, like they just turn a tad bit. It makes no difference, and they look the same no matter how you turn them. So, you know, but the tail, you know, the tail moves nicely, so you could get some cool curvature, cool picture, cool poses with that. And the arms, you know, his arms are very well done. Also, shout out to the paint job underneath the arms. That looks very nice, and all throughout his body. Yeah, the paint job is really, really, really hitting on this figure, I have to say. It's an impressive looking paint job. Very, very nice. You know, this is actually one of the nicer Hedorah figures I've seen out there, as far as the overall look, the detail, the paint job. You know what I mean? And it's just it's a you know, smaller 5 points Mezco, but it's the presentation of it is very, very on point. You know, I've seen a lot of Hedorahs online. There's all different kinds of stylized approaches to them. But this is very good. Now, here's the beam. You can see it slots right in here on top of his eye. He used this weapon quite a bit in the movie. He used it to shoot down choppers and aircraft, and also shot it at Godzilla. It's a nice effect. You know, it looks cool. And it fits rather easily into his eye. So that's a nice addition to this set. And you could, of course, kind of recreate that scene where he shoots the beam at Godzilla's fingers. Excellent, man. That's really cool. Looks great. And you can basically recreate the scene where they're just staring at each other down and basically just waving at each other, which is so weird, but it exists, you know. Of course, you can see here, this is the battle damage piece that slots in nicely right into the top of his eye. Of course, that's to signify how Hedorah lost his eye, you know, after damaging Godzilla's eye. So, nice that that little piece is included. Okay, now we have Godzilla himself, who's really nicely done. You know, he's kind of similar to the Destroy All Monsters Mezco figure. Basically, it looks like the same figure from the shoulders on down, except for the fact that this has a closed mouth. That one is open, and of course, you have the battle damage right here on his eye that you could see. And Hedorah basically shut his eye with that toxic sludge. So that's pretty cool that they painted that on there. Yeah, I mean, the detail on Godzilla and the sculpt is very well done. I love the curvature of his tail here, how it goes to the side and then down. That's awesome. I especially like how well the dorsal plates are done here and how they're painted. That looks very nice. It's a pretty heavy figure for its size. You know, the articulation is not the greatest, basically. You're talking arms, legs, and the neck moves side to side. So you're not getting a ton of posability. The tail does not move on this figure. But, you know, the sculpt is well done. His face is well done. It definitely conveys the look of Godzilla in the movie. And that's nice. You could get him into a nice sort of running pose right here, you know. Like I said, there's not much you can do in the way with articulation. It's just arms, legs, and the neck moves a little bit, you know. So that's not terrible. You could get him in a nice tail off the ground pose here with the eggs when he's basically beating Hedorah down to some slime and sludge. You know, the eggs do not fit in his hands. So I'm not sure what they were doing there, you know. Why include them in the set if they're not going to fit in Godzilla's hands like they did, like he held them in his hands in the movie? Or at least give an additional pair of arms that hold the eggs. I don't know, you know. Not sure about that. Maybe this is the way you could pose it to get away with that. But I don't know. Sort of a cool pose anyhow. So, I mean, he is a pretty damn cool Godzilla figure, you know. He's definitely screen accurate. He looks good. You could get him into a few different poses, you know. He looks kind of nice like this. And you see how they stand just fine without the stands. So, you know. This is just a pose the whole set on the shelf kind of deal, and you're not really buying it for the articulation. The articulation is a slight bonus that you could pose these figures like that, but yeah, pretty cool anyway. So there we have it, folks. Mezco 5 points XL Godzilla versus Hedorah. You know, what can I say? I mean, it's cool, you know. It's cool. It looks nice. It's cool that they give you, you know, basically 3 figures in the set and several accessories to it. You know, I think these are nice. I don't know if I'm really into them like that to collect every one of them. Maybe I'll get a few more, maybe not. You know, as I go further on in collecting, I'm starting to like wanting to just collect the articulated figures like SH Monster Arts and Haya and stuff like that. I'll get an occasional vinyl as well and some other stuff here and there. I like the, getting Playmates figures at the stores, but, as far as spending real money, I'd rather put it into an articulated figure, like a much more articulated figure. These run about 50 or 60 bucks, 70 bucks, 80 bucks is what I've seen them for. I don't know, But, if you could get it for a good price, then it's worth getting these sets. They're well done. They're well painted and stuff like that. So, I'd like to get the 74, the Mecha Godzilla set. That's my favorite Godzilla design. So maybe I'll look into getting that next. They're pretty cool. You know what I mean? I'm sure I'll get some more here and there, but hope you like the review anyway. If you like this, go out and get you some Mezco Godzilla and Hedorah. Peace out, folks. I'll be back at you with another one soon.